Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
Here's running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Friday going into a long weekend. What is good? How you living, boys and girls? Celtics beat the Pacers last night. Is it over? It is if Tyrese Halliburton can't go. Shaking your head back there. Is it over? Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What's up?
All right.
All right.
So you said Celtics would cover. You've kind of been on this, dude. You're on a little burner right now. 126, 110. Who's their best player, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
I think it can vary based on what they need said player to in this series. Jaylen Brown was the most explosive player offensively yesterday. Hit the big shot at the end of game one because Jason Tatum was quiet offensively last night. But Tatum also gives you a little bit of everything across the board.
Jaylen Brown had 40 last night. Tatum 23 and 6. They also got 23 out of Derek White. And it never felt like it was in jeopardy. 126, 110. Celtics take a 2-0 lead. Eastern Conference Finals by beating the Pacers last night in Massachusetts. Pascal Siakam, the former New Mexico State Aggie, led the way with 28 points. He played really well for Indiana, but just not enough. Tyrese Halliburton leaves the game, scored 10 points, and left with a hamstring issue. A not new injury for Tyrese Halliburton. He played 28 minutes and was 4 of 8 from the field. They cannot win this. I don't know if they can win the series with Tyrese Halliburton. JJ, they cannot win this series without Tyrese Halliburton.
They cannot win this series without Tyrese Halliburton. They can be competitive, maybe sneak one out, just going back home. But, no, they are done without Tyrese Halliburton.
Series over?
If he is out, yes.
Kind of feels like it's over. Like I learned last series with Minnesota and Denver that stop. Like don't say things are over. But boy, it kind of feels like
an injury wasn't involved when we were talking about that.
Who'd Boston beat in the last series? I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly don't remember who they beat in the last. It was Cleveland, right?
Yep.
They were just better than Cleveland. All right, we got a lot to do today. Guest list 7:30. JJ had a conversation with former big leaguer. I read on the press release he's a legend, so we'll call him a legend, I guess. But if he's a World Series champ, so that makes him a legend. He was in town yesterday to announce this big home run derby that's coming to Isotopes Park. Nick Swisher. We'll do that at 7:30. You'll hear that conversation that JJ had with him. 8:30 this morning, we'll go out and we'll talk with Ben. Nick needs in some meetings today because there's a lot going on. But we will talk with the head golf pro at Sandia, Ben Gasbridge, and get you a golf tip, get his reaction to Xander Schauffele winning his first major. We'll do that at 8:30. Then 9 o'clock, we'll kick it to Kenny and head into the weekend, talking with the former Lobo great about the hoops and everything that's going on, and certainly his thoughts on the settlement and the big news that's going on and the noise in the NCAA. And we'll try to decipher what all that means as best we can. Global Golf tees off in 35 minutes. They're at the NCAA Championships in California. That's where the big dog, Eddie Nunez, is. You got that trip. See, I guess when you're the AD and your team's playing in the NCAA Championships in La Costa, you go, right?
Yes, you do.
You say, I got to go to La Costa. I mean, we got a team in the NCAA Championship. So Lobo Golf is there. Lobo Baseball is also in San Diego. So Eddie might be able to go catch both of those. He's in North County, and then he can drop down to Tony Gwynn Stadium at San Diego State, catch Lobo Baseball in an elimination game today. First round Mountain West Conference tournament yesterday. Got behind early, hit 3 home runs, but weren't able to come back. The Lobos lose to San Jose State, first round of the conference tournament. They will play Fresno State today in an elimination game. 2:30 is the time on that. So that's Lobo sports that are still going in tournaments and in postseason. The hockey last night, I don't know how much you watched of it, man. Connor McDavid got bailed out. He took a 4-minute penalty, then got robbed. First got robbed. There was some unbelievable goaltending. Double overtime, and it was 3-2. The Edmonton Oilers win Game 1 of the Western Conference Final in Dallas last night, and it was basically it was insane. And what Ottinger made 35 saves, and I'm not out of my mind, right? Spectacular save last night.
Yes, he did.
And they lost. Quick goal early with 32 seconds into the second overtime. And it was a Connor McDavid tip-in, a deflection, and a goal. Great hockey last night.
It's back-to-back double overtime games for the Stars. They needed double overtime to close out the Avalanche. And for them, they had to come back from a 2-goal deficit. At home last night, Edmonton scored 2 goals in the second period. Dallas had 1 in the second, 1 in the third to force overtime. And that is one of those moments that could decide a series. When you get hit with a 4-minute penalty in overtime and you kill it and win the game on the road, absolutely gigantic. So I like Dallas in this series, but that changes everything with Edmonton winning Game 1 like that.
So McDavid gets this double minor seconds into the first overtime. And you're figuring, all right, this is it, right? You get a 4-minute power play for Dallas at home, and his teammates bailed him out. And they've been terrific on the kill. They were mobbing him. Seconds later, he scored with minutes later, I guess maybe an hour later. He scored 32 seconds into overtime, and he got bailed out. And it was a little bit of insanity last night in Dallas. But the Stars are down 3-2. That place will now house the Mavericks tonight as we get back to the hoops, and it'll be the Mavericks. Actually, not tonight. Mavericks will be on the road. They're in Minnesota. But everybody will have their eyes on the Mavericks tonight. Game 2, the Western Conference Final, Dallas at Minnesota. Open up the phones for you this morning at 505-246-0610. That is the phone line here at the Sports Outlet. 505-246-0610. Emails come in this morning, Jeff, at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the X, it is _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. Of course, you can watch the show there. We are live on, I believe we are, right? We're still there. There's my little Xbox. So you can watch it, Comcast Channel 26, on our Facebook page and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Adrian produces for you there. All right. Home run derby. Well, we'll get into that at 7 a little bit later because I thought that was it. You get your orange baseball? Did you go home with an orange baseball?
I did.
Did you bounce that thing?
No, it's a little springy though.
It's funny. I was told no, they're just like regular baseballs. They're orange. And I'm like, no, they're not. And it bounced a little bit like a super ball. This home run derby X that they announced yesterday out of the ballpark, which is actually probably pretty cool. There's going to be it's coming to 4 places, but the headliner is going to be Manny Ramirez. And last time Manny Ramirez was in this place, things went nuts. And so we'll get into that, and you're going to hear from Nick Swisher about that. All right, Celtics win last night, 126-110. Robert's a Celtics fan. I know that. He's watching it all. Robert, good morning. How you feeling? Wait, let me hit the button again. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Yeah, just if you guys remember when Halliburton got hurt this year, it was against the Celtics.
Yep.
They still beat the Celtics that game, the one that they won, even though Tatum didn't play that game. But anyway, they still did that and pulled it off. It was a ugly foul at the end of the game where Jaylen Brown got fouled and they reversed it. and he didn't have a chance to shoot the free throws and win. But yeah, like the game last night, the Celtics, they still kind of played down to the level, but you could see in Jaylen Brown that he wasn't going to let his team lose. He was going through the bigger players. He was just unstoppable at points. He still has his little mistakes here and there, but that's the heart that these guys do have. Tatum woke up late in the fourth quarter, and that was incredible. So that pushed us over. So yeah, let's go.
Big win. Is the series over?
No, there's 2 more games. I'm not one of those who's going to call it. I believe the Celtics were going to win, of course. But there's still 2 more games. There's still 2 more games to go. So, yeah. And then your question was, who's better, Brown or Tatum?
Who's their best player?
And the answer is yes.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good situation for you, buddy. Yep. All right. Enjoy it.
All right. You guys have a great morning.
Going into the weekend. See you. 505-246-0610. James, good morning. What's happening? You're on the Sports Animal.
We are the sons of Westwood.
Look at this. Come on, there's more words to that. Aren't there more words?
How about those Bruins, baby? How about Maya Brady? 2 home runs and an RBI. How about that? And a double.
So
How about that?
I guess UCLA won the softball tournament? Is that what you're telling me? They're back in the World Series?
No, they won game
It's
1.
super regional.
They won game 1? All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, good win. Maya Brady.
Yes, Maya Brady, man, awesome. It's good to have a player that you could go to in the clutch like that, and she's a senior, back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Boom.
All the accolades.
Hopefully she's getting paid more than most of the basketball team.
All right, guys.
See you,
Go
man.
Bruins.
Later.
Yeah.
All right, Bruin James out in the OE, or the IE. I mean, going crazy in the IE about Bruin softball. Hey, look, man, there's so much going on right now. Whatever you're into, if you're into the hockey and the hoops, you got the soccer, you got the postseason baseball and the softball. It's all there for you. It's all there for you. And if you watch any of the softball on TV, like ESPN puts a lot of softball on TV, and there's people who just love watching.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a
I
pretty
watched
good TV sport.
The end of Georgia UCLA last night.
It's a good TV sport, isn't it?
It's fun product. It's got a good tempo to it.
Yeah.
Action.
I totally agree. I remember years ago, it was dominated by pitchers because the pitchers were so much better than the hitters. And now, I mean, yeah, you get a good pitcher and it's about pitching, but holy smokes, man, it's a good TV sport. All right, take a break. When we come back, Raider fan, this might make you feel happy. The Raiders are trying to, and I think did, keep their best defensive player happy. What that means for the future. 7:30, former big leaguer Nick Swisher was in town. World Series champ, promoting a big event that's coming to Isotopes Park. It's the opening drive on a Friday. Glad you're here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
Oh, real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You're welcome to jump in on the hoops last night. You're welcome to jump in. People want to hear. You have Josh's last call of Ice Slip Solution last night. Gopher says, "Are you taking requests? Can you play Sushan with the heartbreaking final seconds last night for the Smiths?" Gene says, "Nothing's ever easy when you're a struggling AAA franchise, Jeff. 2-point lead, opponent down to their final strike, and for some reason your supposed stud closer isn't in the game. What are you saving it for? You have the worst team in the league, so can't be tired. You hadn't had many chances." What to tell you, man? Maybe you're saving it for the second half, Gene. I don't know. It's been a tough one. It's just been a tough one. 505-246-0610. Celtics were winners last night, 126-110 over the Pacers. 2-0 is their lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Tyrese Halliburton left with a hamstring injury. He's got 25 points and 10 in the series opener, 10 last night, left in the third quarter. So, they can't win without him. I don't know that they can win with him. All right, Raider fan, this got to make you happy. Raiders are giving 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end Max Crosby a $6 million raise for this season. and they didn't add any years to his contract. That's Adam Schefter reporting, and Adam Schefter's never wrong. Raiders are also moving $1.2 million from his 2026 salary into 2025. This is a guy who has become a stud. 4th-round pick. Do you know where he went to college? You don't have to go to a P5.
Eastern Michigan?
Eastern Michigan. They would be the Eastern Michigan. What are they?
They have a green field?
They do. They have the gray field.
Like the gray field. That's what I mean. Everyone's like, everyone has a green field, you dope.
Yeah, they have a gray field. Yes, you dope. Everyone has a gray, except for them. Central's the Chippewas. Western's the Broncos. So they are the, I know this. Come on, man. Eagles. They're the Eagles. Oh. Anyway, 4th-round pick out of Eastern Michigan. He's kind of the face of their franchise, right? He signed a 4-year extension, $95 million in new money, $53 million guaranteed in 2022. And since then, he's been a stud. I think great move for Raider fan. And
they have interesting pieces.
They do.
They have foundational pass rusher, an elite talent like Max Crosby. They paid a lot of money to Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle, to come over from Miami in the offseason. Devontae Adams is still a playmaker.
Yep.
They have Brock Bowers, who they brought in. They have depth at wide receiver behind Devontae Adams.
Jacoby Myers is there. Michael Gallup is there. Trey Tucker's there.
And then you have this giant question mark of, is it Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew that can try to keep you competitive this season?
So, who's your favorite? I know they claim they love Aiden O'Connell. It feels like Gardner Minshew can be if he's ever going to be a starting quarterback. First of all, this is it, right? If he's ever going to be a starting quarterback.
Well, this is kind of who he is now. He gets these opportunities to step in because you don't trust him enough to be a starter over multiple years. He's a good gap guy, as he was last year for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm more excited, just from a football standpoint, of Gardner Minshew, just not just from competing to win football games, even from like a fantasy football standpoint for the Raiders keeping those players relevant. But the way that they're talking of Aiden O'Connell, it gets me thinking. Like Antonio Pierce, I don't think he'd do that just to do that, with kind of saying it's his job to lose and we believe in him as a quarterback. And so that's going to be an interesting one to watch because there's going to be zero expectations.
For the Raiders?
For the Raiders.
Or just simply because the quarterback's
yes,
right? And I think
they could be.
I agree with you.
A wild card team with solid quarterback.
I absolutely agree with you. It's an interesting start. You know, they open up at the Chargers opening day, and then they travel to Baltimore. Then they don't get home. Then they get Carolina, Cleveland at home. They go to Denver and they get Pittsburgh and the Rams. They could be 3-3. They could be 0-6. They could be. I mean, they could be anything. They could be 4-2. It's an interesting roster, and I think defensively they're pretty good. I actually really like what they are defensively. I don't know that I think they've got a bell cow running back. Maybe they don't need one. Zamir White and Alexander Madison will split it. They have Amir Abdullah's still there. It's what kind of quarterback play do you get? And if Aiden O'Connell is half of what they think that he's going to be, he's going to be what, a second-year guy now, 4th-round pick out of Purdue. Look, these guys, it doesn't have to be the top of the draft. Go down the list. The league is littered with quarterbacks who weren't top 5 picks. Aaron Rodgers was late first round. You know, Dak Prescott was late, right? I mean, there's guys all over the league who are making an impact that weren't number 1, number 2. Now, a lot of, most of them were first round picks. Brock Purdy wasn't. Geno Smith wasn't. I mean, you get it. They can come from anywhere. There's no guarantees. I still think Gardner Minshew is going to win that job, but we'll see. They love him that much, but that's intriguing to me. And it's a big move by them to go out and make that sign. A couple of other NFL notes. I love Dan Campbell every more he talks, because you say Super Bowl or bust, and he says, I don't even know what bust is. And that can mean so many different things. They're playing from a position they've never played, the Lions, from expectations. And so Dan Campbell was up yesterday, and he was asked about it. He says, I don't see bust. I see Super Bowl. I don't know what bust is. What does that mean to you?
It's a Dan Campbellism.
Kind of
we're
love
not
it, though.
we're not gonna bust because we're going to win.
Yep.
So keep bust out your mouth.
They got the fourth best odds to win the championship at plus 1,100. They're playing from the front. They went out and made signings. They had, and every time I see a signing by them, I think it's going to work because everything seems to work. Well, they got DJ Reader, right? They got rookie cornerbacks, defensive backs. They made all these moves. Like every time they make a move, I think it's going to work because everything's worked so far for them. Right?
Do you want to know an insane thing for the Detroit Lions?
Sure.
And how they're kind of viewed. They're almost there's got a little that Greatest Show on Turf 2.0 vibe going.
Yeah.
With that offense.
Yeah.
They played 3 outdoor games this season.
That's it?
That's it.
That's kind of crazy.
That could really, really benefit the Detroit Lions.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to guess obviously they play at Chicago and Green Bay. And the other one is they play at San Francisco late in the season. Dallas is indoor. Minnesota's indoor. Green Bay. Well, no, they play. That's it? Stand by. At Arizona would be indoor. Dallas is indoor. Minnesota's indoor. Green Bay's outdoor. Yeah, you're right. Green Bay, Chicago, and San Francisco.
Just making up things?
No. I didn't realize I counted Green Bay out. Does preseason count? Because they play at New York and Kansas City. Hey, so my kid asked me, Dad, is it all right if I like the Lions? Like, yeah, babe, you can like whoever you want. I said the only thing you
kind of building a new affinity in the area.
Yeah.
She's going to be spending her college life.
Yeah, she was asking me about the Red Wings. We're going to go to a Tigers game. You don't like the Red Wings?
No.
Yeah, because you can't like the Red Wings.
No.
Right? Yeah. I said you could do it. You can't come home a 49ers fan. That's it. I mean, other than that, or San Francisco.
That would be
Giants.
pretty wild.
Yeah, you can't come home a 49ers fan. Other than that, baby, you do whatever. She's like, Dad, I still I'm still a Rams fan, but can I have like a second team? I said, you can do whatever you want. We like Jared Goff, Dan Campbell's. It's a fun time to go be a Lions fan. We got some people at the Lions. I got people. Yeah, you can like the Lions, babe. All right, well, I'll look into it because Jared Goff's cool, right? We still like him. I'm like, yeah, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Think about the sentence you just said.
What?
And did we ever believe that would become a thing?
What would?
Jared Goff is cool.
Yeah, I've been there for a long time.
Even after he scored 3 points in the Super Bowl?
I mean, define long time. I wasn't thrilled with Jared Goff. Oh, nor was I wasn't thrilled with Sean McVay after they scored 3 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl, but I was, you know what? I never was like totally off of Jared Goff because it'd been so damn long since the Rams had been to a Super Bowl. He got him to a Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm down. Yeah, it was a bad performance in the Super Bowl, but he got him there. I've never been like off of Jared. Like, I hate Jared Goff. No, and he's one of my favorite stories now because of the whole how he got to be what he is and who he is. And thrown on the scrap heap and thrown in as a trade. And by the way, here, we'll give you all this extra picks because you have to take his salary. And went over there to be a gap quarterback, and he was just going to play out his contract, and they were going to throw him away. And all of a sudden, he became this guy who just signed a $50+ million a year deal and went to the NFC Championship game and kind of is the face of a franchise who needed a face and has been garbage for so long. I love the story. He's kind of one of my favorite stories now. So, yeah, I'm down with it. I'll own that. I mean, doesn't it feel like it's hard to dislike Jared Goff?
Yeah, I think Jared Goff is a very likable player.
Yeah.
Not a lot of noise outside of football.
My point.
It's evident he was a good quarterback.
Yep.
Because it's not just what the Lions were last year. It was the end of the season before.
Mm-hmm.
And how they finished as a team. He was a big part of setting new expectations. They took off and ran with that last season, and Goff has set himself apart. Unless because there's, I think of say like Jimmy Garoppolo was in that situation, right? Took a team to the Super Bowl. They're like, we don't think this guy's good enough.
No.
Moved on, hasn't had the same amount of success at all as a Jared Goff.
And it feels like his teammates love him, right? Guys go out of their way to praise him.
The problem is,
yeah,
he's making 20% of their salary cap.
so they can't win on the 13% rule, which is okay. You can't, so they won't win the Super Bowl because of the 13% rule. But dudes making bank. I love a dude who shuts his mouth and goes to work. And players rally around, teammates rally around, cities rally around and love it. I'm a big fan of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I make a living doing sports talk radio, so guys who open their mouth and give us stuff to talk about are great too. But I'm a fan of a guy who was given up on, went out, put his head down, shut his mouth, busted his ass, and earned a $50+ million a year contract. Oh, by the way, and is winning and feels like he's doing it the right way. And isn't saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Love it. What's not to like about Jared Goff? So, yeah, when she said, Dad, can I like the Lions? I'm like, no, that's fine. Just don't come home a 49er. We're good.
Don't think you're going to have that problem.
Is that all right? I mean, she understands that. I think she's been ingrained with, she's not going to come home a San Francisco Giant or 49er. Other than that, I think we're wide open. When we come back, former big leaguer was in town yesterday. Guy who was a World Series champion, promoting a pretty big event coming to Ice Stubbs Park. JJ had a good conversation with him. You'll hear former World Series champion. I guess you're always a World Series champion. Nick Swisher, next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us.
Every home run is a point. There's a target out there, as the guy from England called it, football posts. There'll be goalposts out there. If the ball goes to the goalpost or the football post, then it's bonus points. And then they get 5 orange baseballs at the end that are double points.
You can do that whenever.
Whenever?
You can get in the zone whenever. Throw up your X.
Really?
It could be early.
Oh, that's the X?
Throw up the X. Wow. I'm actually really excited for this.
It's kind of cool. So Manny Ramirez and Ian Desmond, Johnny Gomes, guys and the ladies are in on this. And I think this is really cool that Andrea Howard's playing, the New Mexico softball legend who was on the Italian Olympic team and hit all the bombs for UNM, and she's going to be there. Alex Hugo was there yesterday to promote this. I mean, there's some superstars coming in. Nick Swisher, is he going to play or is he just the ambassador?
I think he's just the ambassador now.
All right, but he did play in this. So it started overseas. He had a nice press conference yesterday out of the ballpark, and when the GM was in a tie, and I mean, Boris put on a sports coat with his sneakers. It was a good, it was a big
very
deal.
important people.
Very important people yesterday. And you got to sit down. You got to sit down and talk to Nick Swisher a little bit.
Yeah, and if you're kind of wondering what is this all about, Nick Swisher's the dude that's going to fire you up about this.
An all-star, World Series champ, big leaguer, now a home run derby X superstar, Nick Swisher. So you're sitting here, you get to look at it on the spur, and you guys are going to be blasting balls out of.
Yeah.
What's it like just for you, even with your traveled career, getting to go to places that you might not have thought of going to because of home run derby X?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the best part of what we're doing, being able to make a mark on maybe some fans that have never seen you play before. Also, too, I think just in general, helping grow the game, right? I think if you look around and you see kind of the different sports that are kind of branching off with basketball, 3-on-3, with rugby, the 7-on-7s, with cricket as well. There's just so many different versions of a game, and I think that's exactly what we're trying to do with baseball. I think we're doing an amazing job of that with the leadership of Kellum as well as Charlie. Just blessed to be part of this. Want to entertain people, and that's exactly what this platform allows us to do.
So for you, hit 245 home runs in the big leagues. When people ask you about that, is there one specific home run or one moment that comes to your mind first?
Yeah, I think just in general, either my 200th home run was a grand slam at home in Yankee Stadium, which was badass, bro. It was amazing. Either that or my one World Series home run that I hit, which was awesome in Philly. So I think just in general, I've been so fortunate enough to play this game, 13 seasons, 12 years. So I think just in general, when you're done and you retire, there's a hole. You're used to being part of something. The routine of every day, the day-to-day, changes. So I think for myself, when I got that phone call from Charlie and Kellen to ask me to be part of Home Run Derby X, I knew this was right up my alley. It's a mix of Major League Baseball tied with WWE wrestling. So I think just in general, we do a great job of putting on an amazing show. We've done great the last couple of years. We started off on the international front, and then being able to bring this back domestically has just been a game changer for all of us. Being able to go to 2 minor league ballparks last year has been amazing. This year, 4, 2025, maybe 10, 15. Obviously, we want to continue to keep growing this thing as best we can. So being able to have this opportunity to continue to keep putting jerseys on, whether it's an Isotopes jersey or a Bouncing Pickle jersey in Hartford, we love this. And for myself, not only that, but being able to bring along some of my friends. Guys like Manny Ramirez, Ian Desmond, Johnny Gomes. There's just some amazing individuals that have played this game and made a huge mark that want to continue to still be part of this game. So it's a blessing to be able to have all of them, as well as our amazing female competitors. I think that's the one thing that I love most about this. I'm a girl dad. I think I said in the press conference, that's one of the things that I love most about this is my young girls now have different role models than they've never had before in their lives. So the fact that we've got Alex Hugo, Jocelyn Allo, Andrea Howard is going to be here. So the names just keep getting bigger and bigger. And with more and more events that we have, we're giving more and more players a platform to go out and be role models. And I think, like I said, also, it's not always about just being the best player. It's being about a good human being. So all of us, man, we understand our roles when we come here. We understand what we're trying to do with the fans. And if there's 1 or 2 young kids out there, boys or girls, that have never seen the game of baseball, hopefully after this, they'll love the game.
Your passion for life in baseball, it bleeds through. So you're someone that never had to be told to get excited for something. So when you see this opportunity at the Home Run Derby X, what do you hope it does for the game of baseball? I know they're trying to get a little bit faster, trying to get a little bit hipper. So how do you kind of translate, this experience to just falling in love with the game?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do. I think that, I think the fans here of Albuquerque a couple weeks ago got to see the Savannah Bananas and just the overall joy that they have when they take the field. I think you're going to see that and more on August 23rd. So I think for all of us, just to be able to have the blessing of still being part of this and still feeling like you can add and make a difference. I think that's also one of the things, I think, once the game passes, once you retire, the game's going to continue to keep going. The next superstar is going to come up. The game keeps moving. So, if you don't hold on to some aspect of it, it's just going to fly right by you. So I think for all of us, Ian Desmond, another big name, obviously the fans here in Albuquerque know him as well. So I just think for all of us, we're so blessed to be part of this. It's so easy to get excited for this. And I also think for myself, I've been so privileged and blessed to be part of this from the jump, to be able to have some input on how we go about presenting ourselves, how we go about presenting the overall, just a product of what HRDX is. So for myself, I feel like I set the tone early. I have a good part in that. And once you're part of it, it's really easy to fall in line. It's really easy to see how excited the crowd gets. And for a lot of these guys, man, and women, listen, sometimes when the cheers go away, you get those cheers back. And, you get those, 10, 15,000 people. I'm looking at this stadium right now. I'm looking out on that berm. I can't even imagine how many people are going to be able to fit on that berm alongside of the 12,500 seats you have. You have 30 suites to offer fans. So I think for me, I love that, as well as the price point of this. $30 for berm tickets. That's crazy. You're just not going to go to a sporting event for that price, especially at the professional level, to be able to see athletes like we're bringing to this event on the 23rd. So it's been a blessing. We love it. And hopefully we can just continue to make this thing bigger and better.
Lastly, Nick, I know the passion you have for baseball. You're sharing it with everyone through this. So you're going to get back into kids' music anytime?
Oh, man. As long as I got that auto-tune.
Dude, the iTunes chart brings back memories.
Right? Number 3, baby.
Go.
Talk to me, kid. You know it, man. It's once again, it's like in life, man, you're not going to get many opportunities to do cool things like that, or Home Run Derby X. So when these things pop across your desk, I jump on them. I jump on these opportunities. I love being part of the game of baseball. I love being able to come out and make kids smile. I love go out and make, ex-Yankee fans or ex-A's fans or Atlanta Braves fans or the White Sox, like whatever fan you were, I want to come here. I want to make a good impression. I want people to leave with a good taste in their mouth, because that's exactly what we're trying to do, man. It's a hard thing to get to the big leagues, and very few are able to ever make it. But if you don't have that passion and the love for the game, I can promise you, you're going to start behind the 8 ball.
Well, we're going to expect home runs.
Hey, bro, I can give you that.
And music.
Hey.
August 23rd.
That's it, you know what I'm saying?
Nick Swish,
yes, sir,
man.
man. Nice to meet you, bro. Thank you.
And he has no energy. I mean, too bad you had to juice that guy up a little bit, huh?
Dude, Nick Swisher's something else, man.
That was good. that was really good. I know you enjoyed that, and I mean, obviously he did too. So that's what's coming. You can get tickets. It's all available. Go to abqistopes.com and that'll be, what's the date of that?
It's Friday, August 23rd.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that'll be fun, man. I think you'll have a good time with that. All right, when we come back, our quarterbacks are a bunch of orphan dogs. What coach said that about his quarterback very well could be actually, there's a really good chance it's your team. And what does it mean? Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spelt, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters.
9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's kind of an orphan group. They're all orphan dogs. They've come from somewhere. They're doing good. It's a good room. The head coach of the National Football League, maybe your head coach, talking about his quarterback room on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. No, not the Raiders. We talked about the Raiders earlier. And Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. It is Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos talking about Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, the rookie, veteran, what do you call Jarrett Stidham? Journeyman? Zach Wilson, former top draft pick, top of the draft. They're all trying to replace Russell Wilson. That was his quote. Is that a good definition of your quarterback room with the Denver Broncos? They're all orphan dogs, JJ.
No. If Bo Nix wasn't there, it would make sense, but you just drafted Bo Nix with the 12th overall selection. Doesn't seem like much of an orphan to me.
Seems like he was born into your family. Yeah. The number 12 pick like overall?
He's the one that you've anointed. He's the favorite child.
I think so.
The others might be doing dishes, cleaning the floors.
Stepchildren, orphans. Number 12 pick overall. 5-year college career at Auburn and Oregon. Stidham's 27 years old. Was already building a resume as a journeyman. Spent time with the Patriots, the Raiders. Zach Wilson was acquired, as you well know, via trade this offseason as he attempts to revive his career. He was a former number 2 overall pick. Quote Payton again. One's coming from college, one's coming from 2 or 3 NFL systems. The other's coming from one system. They're all in a race to learn this system. I would say, man, they're doing well. End quote. I don't know, man. Are they all? I mean, it's a group. It's they all coming from a little bit different place. One was a guy who was going to save a different franchise. One was a guy who was at one point backing up Tom Brady, wasn't he? Jarrett Stidham. Was he not?
He was in New England.
Yeah.
Was he behind Brady?
I think he was initially. And then he was with the Raiders. And then you got the guy who's now your new savior. You know? Dan, how you living? You're on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Jeff, what's going on?
Hello, Daniel. How you living?
Okay, man. Hey, did I hear you correctly? Is Addie's going to school in Cali?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, no,
I thought you were saying that she she can't come home a San Francisco fan.
Well, that's right. I did say that. No, she's going,
you did say that. Okay.
Yeah, she's going to Michigan. Going to Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to wish her in the open airwaves. I wanted to wish her the best of luck, and I just hope that she just takes on the world and changes the world, bro.
Appreciate
I want to congratulate you for doing such a great job with that young lady.
That means a lot. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.
And I'm a guy that all of my kids were 49ers fans out of the womb, bro. So I got to live with it.
Can't have that. Yeah, we can't.
You guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, it's graduation week, man. Tomorrow. It's gonna be weird watching that child in cap and gown walk across the stage. But it's been weird all week. Watch her go to all these senior activities and just getting. Yeah, it's crazy. Families in town. Dude, wait till you're there. It's
blink and you'll be there.
Blink.
I know that.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. All right, when we come back, we got to get into the NCAA stuff because this settlement, the revenue sharing, is groundbreaking as anything that's ever happened to college athletics. What will it mean? I don't know that I know or anybody knows completely. I have reached out to Eddie Nunez. He's unavailable today. He's with Lobo Golf and Lacoste to go down and see Lobo baseball. But what is it going to mean to the non-Power Fives? Power Fives are going to have to pay out a settlement and revenue share. What about the non-Power Fives? And like New Mexico State. What does it mean? We got a lot to get into because this is a crazy. I say crazy because it's just going to change the landscape, right? And what might it mean to non-revenue sports? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on a Friday at 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom! Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I don't know how it doesn't. With revenue sharing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the reality of what it's going to be. I want to hit on a couple of things that this means, okay? And we're open for business here at 505-246-0610. You can call in, and this is one of those where you start getting into money and what I get it. It's non-competitive. It doesn't necessarily directly affect you and me, but it does. All right, so the players are going to get cut with this revenue sharing. JJ, roughly 20% of the television revenue is going to go to the players. So what does that mean? It feels like the collectives are now going to become less of a part of what goes on here. The schools are now going to pay the players, right? So I don't know what happens to, I'll reach out to Kurt at some point. What happens to 505 Ventures? Are they going to work with the university? I would imagine that's how that works, as the fundraising arm to generate more money for the schools. But for instance, at a Power 5 school, the collective isn't going to be solely responsible for paying the players, the NIL money. It'll now come from this revenue sharing model. What does that mean for the universities? It means less money available for facility upgrades, staff, salaries, non-revenue sports. And look, we'll see where this goes. JJ, my fear long term, and I don't even know how long term it is. I think it's relatively quickly. You're going to start seeing the elimination, not just here, but across the board, of some non-revenue sports, lacrosse and track and field, or golf or softball. Well, probably not softball, but baseball, soccer, right? It's a power school thing. So there's going to be, and even if the non-power conferences want to try to keep up, let's say New Mexico says, all right, well, 20% of our television revenue we'll put towards salaries to pay the players. can't compete. You just can't compete with what they're going to be doing at the big level. Am I missing something there?
No, this is a lot of moving pieces to it where it's a settlement, but not everyone's involved in the settlement. And so you're just trying to really, as you're doing, piece out, what does this mean for everyone? Does that just mean that, as you're saying, the rich can get richer because they have to share the money, which they do, but then that's more challenges on their athletic departments and revenue streams, as you mentioned, of where does the cuts come from? Are you going to be able to make Kirby Smart a $100 million coach still when you have to start splitting out that revenue?
Right.
What does that mean for all your student athletes? Because there's arguments that are already ongoing in terms of Title IX means opportunities, not money. Right. So they're already trying to establish the haves and have-nots even on these big campuses.
Yeah. How do you distribute the money? Is it evenly? Is it supposedly there's a formula on your contribution and your market value. So if you came in as a 5-star and you took X number of snaps, you get more than somebody else. The amount of money that will be distributed at the power level. And look, this is why, and it's SEC and Big Ten. And this is why Texas and Oklahoma went to the SEC. This is why USC and UCLA bolted for the Big Ten. I mean, just the potential cost of litigation was significant here. The new TV contract essentially will cover the cost of the new reality for the Trojans and Bruins. For schools, like, it's not going to be, for other places, it won't be so simple, right? The ACC, let me just give you the difference. ACC's total ESPN television contract cleared $30 million per school just the last few seasons. So the ACC and the Big 12 both gave out about $44 million per school overall. Sounds like a lot. And if you take 20% of that out, and that now it's going to be going to the players, that's about $9 million. So take $9 million off the 44, and you get 35 left. The Big Ten could be worth about $75 million per school. That's about $15 million out of that. You still got $60 million left. SEC's maybe even more than that. And then you come down to the Mountain West, and they're getting, what, about $5 million per school? So you take 20% out, it's $1 million for the players. It's a big difference, right? You see where it's going. Frank, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Frank.
Hi. I don't know that anybody really understands how all the money will affect any of the sports. But I think the part you're missing is 80% goes to the university. So I don't think you have to cut any sports when that much money is actually going to the universities. And it's money that the Mountain West or smaller mid-major conferences didn't have before. So it's extra money. I don't see how you have to cut any sports.
How do you view it as extra? Yeah, Frank. I'm not sure. How do you view it as extra? If this is your TV deal now, so let's just say you're getting $75 million at the SEC level, or $5 million. Is it more? You're not getting much more money. Plus, you're having to pay out the settlement. You have to. There's $2.8 billion that they're on the hook for in back money. Right? So 20% of your revenue that you were getting, I don't know that the TV revenue is going up 20+%. So Frank, I don't think you're operating at the same level. I think I don't see it as you do. You can call me back and tell me what I'm missing. I'm happy to have that conversation. I don't see it, but I think facility upgrades will go on hold in a lot of places. Now, I know there's been a lot of booster fatigue. That's been a term that's been common in sports lexicon over the last few years. Boosters are paying for seat licenses and parking and concessions and tickets and travel and merchandise and everything else. And then they get hit by the collectives. Like around here, JJ, I got to believe 505 Ventures is still going to be raised.
Do the Lobos have to pay out?
Do they have to?
Like, or
are they part of the settlement?
Are they part of this settlement, or is it just
so? And that's why I reached out to Eddie today to try to get a feel on this. So the way I understand this, okay, the NCAA, there's $2.8 billion in back. The NCAA is on the hook for 40% of that. So 1.3, 1.2 billion, whatever that number is. The power conference schools are up for 24% of that. So what is that? 750 million ish. And then the rest, the other 36%, is up to the other Division I conferences and institutions. So that means basketball playing as well. So that's not just the football conferences. So yeah, it sounds like, the Mountain West and in proxy, their member institutions, yes, will be on the hook for their share of that other 36% of the 2.8 billion. Now, if you tell me there's 355 Division I schools and there's 60 something power schools, so there's 290 schools divvying up this 36%. I don't know what the number is going to be and how is it equal? Will football paying schools have to pay more? I don't know the formula. I honestly have no idea. But yeah, everything I'm seeing is New Mexico, everybody's on the hook for something. Isn't that how you read it?
Well, eventually, once you get past all the headlines that say Power 5 agree.
Yeah, but they only agree because they're on the hook for 24%
of the other conferences.
Feels like they got off pretty good, doesn't it?
It does. And even with all the money that's going to be divvied out, what is interesting in this is scholarship expansion. Mm-hmm. There's no longer scholarship limits for all sports. Right. Like football, it sounds like it's still going to be 85, but what this is also doing is every member of an athletic team can be put on a full scholarship. So that
can be. Does not have to be. Can be. If they can afford it. They will, though.
At
those places can afford it. Sure.
And so that's also going to widen the gap where how you're supposed to get anyone to come play an Olympic sport at your school.
Right. Yeah, I guess the answer is going to be, do they want to play? Let's just say you want a volleyball. And they're at Auburn. And they got however many scholarships they want. And so they're getting scholarships and NIL money, but they're not playing. Does that player want to play and come here for less NIL money, but get to play? Or stay there and sit and make more money?
And with this, too, they're discussing the ability to have multi-year contracts as scholarships in this. And
are they employees? And are they workers' comp and all that stuff? All right, we'll continue this conversation on the other side. 505-246-0610. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will get out to the San Diego Golf Club and have a conversation, get you a golf tip. Ben's going to join us, the head pro out there, Ben Gasbridge, will join us then. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Yes, will Monday be an OD load management day? Yeah, we're off on Monday for Memorial Day. And Dan, I think it's different. The other side of it, I think there's going to be less of those middle management. I think departments will get smaller. Because I think there's just going to be less salary. Frank called in and said that there's really not much of a difference because the revenue should offset. And Frank, I appreciate you coming back in. So explain more, because the way I understand it is you're not getting any more television revenue. Your television revenue is set for the next X number of years. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, certainly the collegiate athletic world has changed with NIL and transfer portals and all those types of things, okay? This settlement, as I understand it, is the NCAA and the Power 5 conferences agreeing to give money to the smaller conferences in order to offset this antitrust litigation, or to settle the antitrust litigation. So this lawsuit itself will create more funds for the university. Now, moving forward, because the NCAA in this settlement is trying to restructure or create a process where the universities are actually paying the athletes as opposed to NIL money coming from outside organizations. That might have an impact on how much money gets paid to athletes, who's actually paying the athletes. But this settlement itself is actually funds coming from Power 5 and NCAA to the smaller schools. So the settlement, the money, is not going to create, shortages in administrative positions or requiring the, lesser sports, the non-generating sports to have to be, done away with.
Okay, Frank, because then you and I have a different understanding of this. The money that, from what I understand it, is the money that there's $2.8 billion, right, that you see it. What I see it is back paid to the student athletes from the I don't see anywhere where it's going from Power 5 to Group of 5. In fact, I see the Power 5 on the hook for 24% of the $2.8 billion and the NCAA paying 40%. I see the cash-strapped schools, the rest of Division I, having to cover the rest of the 36% of the settlement. I guess I'm not seeing what you're seeing is what I'm talking about.
Well, I guess maybe it's the reports that I've read. It's the NCAA and the Power 5 schools that were on the hook to make the payment of this large sum of money. Okay, and the allocation was going to go to schools and to athletes, including former athletes. So I don't think the infusion of additional funds will cause the problems that you're talking about. Now, those problems might be caused by other things down the road, because NIL and transfer portal and all those other kinds of things cause some concern, obviously, and some difficulties for the smaller schools, for the mid-major schools, because of the revenue that they actually generate now. So there are other challenges down the road. I just don't think that this litigation is going to be the thing that leads to those challenges.
Got it. I appreciate you. Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
JJ, tell me, are you seeing what he's saying?
No.
Because I don't see anywhere where it says the money is going from Power 5 to Group of 5.
No, it says 60% of it will come from the 27 D1 conferences outside the so-called Power 5 football leagues. And it quotes the Big East is slated to sacrifice between $5.4 million and $6.6 million over the next decade, while the West Coast Conference would be hit for $3.5 to $4.3 million. So I don't see where they are getting money at all.
Does it show you a Mountain West hit at all?
No.
Yeah,
so they're losing out on NCAA money. They're not gaining money.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere where it says the money's going to.
Everyone has to pay
these conferences, and all, and this is where it's crazy. If you were a Division I athlete, dating back to 2016, all Division I athletes are eligible to receive a share of this $2.8 billion. It's part of the settlement. Athletes cannot now sue. That's kind of, it's a class action suit. So in exchange, athletes will not be able to sue the NCAA for other potential antitrust violations. They have to drop their complaints in 3 open cases: House versus the NCAA, Hubbard versus the NCAA, and Carter versus the NCAA. So the settlement terms have got to be approved, and the revenue sharing, it goes to the revenue sharing, which will begin in 2025. So, and Frank, you and I, and JJ's not seeing what you see either. I see nowhere, and I've looked at a lot of places. That's the first I've ever heard anybody tell me that revenue is going to the smaller schools. In fact, the smaller schools are on the hook to pay for it.
They're losing out on potential NCAA revenue to cover up these payments.
Yeah, they're on the hook. So no institution is getting any more money. The way I see this, and there's still legal issues out there. But yeah, we'll watch how this plays out. And JJ, bottom line is the NIL money, because of revenue sharing, is going to be much more available in bigger numbers at the power schools, as it is now, at power schools than it is at non-power schools. But now it's going to come out of the revenue sharing, which is TV.
So
numbers.
It does highlight that you do indeed still need a collective to be on board and help you compete,
I think that's right.
Even more so
Certainly here.
now than ever at a school like the University of New Mexico.
Certainly here. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, 505-246-06. We can continue this a little bit later. But, this is where it's going. $2.8 billion with a B in back damages. future athlete revenue sharing, and it'll cost major conferences a cumulative $1 billion annually. And what that means to, it's up to the smaller, I say smaller conferences, the non-power conferences, the Mountain West, Conference USA, to decide what they can and want to do in regards to revenue sharing and how they're going to handle NIL. Good talk some golf when we get back. Ben Gasbridge is the head pro over at San Diego Golf Club. He's pinch hitting for Nick today. Get your golf tip and his reaction to Xander Schauffele finally
Free Scotty
breaking through. Yeah, and free Scotty. Have you seen the video? I mean, I just, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Center.
This report brought to you.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out.
This week, they are in Fort Worth, a $9.1 million purse where Emiliano Grillo is the defending champion. You got a pretty good leaderboard right now. Round two starting to get underway. You got 7 dudes, JJ, at -4. Tony Finau, Jordan Spieth, Brian Harmon amongst that group. Keegan Bradley and Charlie Hoffman won back, and you got a pretty good field. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck coming off of a major weekend where we saw Xander Schauffele win his very first major. He wins the PGA Championship last week at Valhalla. The gold medal winning golfer held off Bryson DeChambeau.
Golf, big time now. Not only do you have a great major tournament, but one of your stars got arrested. Welcome to the sports world.
Yeah. And we're watching the video, and every video we see is like, what the hell is going on? Let's get out to these beautiful Sandia Golf Club. The director of golf, Nick Nee, is in big-time meetings today. So pinch hitting for Nick as the head golfer out there. Ben Gasparich, and Ben joins us this morning. Good morning, Ben. How you living?
Good, guys. How you guys doing?
Life's grooving. It's going to be mid-80s today. Should have low winds, and every golf course in town is in pretty good shape. So how bad can it be?
Exactly. Got a great weather for a great holiday weekend.
Yeah, no, it should be fun. How cool was it to see Xander? I don't know if you're a Xander fan or not. I went to San Diego State. So did he. So there's always a little affection there. But he's a Mountain West golfer, and I think he was carrying the label as the best golfer that had never won a major, which is always great for whoever's carrying that to get rid of. I thought the major last week, looking at that leaderboard going into Sunday, was everything you could ask for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's he's someone I think you can, arguably whether you like him or not, he's a heck of a golfer. He's been there, time and time again with the Masters a couple of times and multiple other majors. And, never seemed to kind of quite break through and get it done. So especially the week before with him, kind of Rory chasing him down and doing what he did to him the week prior, and kind of having that label kind of stuck on him again that he couldn't finish on Sunday, and for him to have a leaderboard like he did behind him, and really, Bryson went out and shot 64, and he went out and shot 65, 66, and got it done. And so I think for him especially, it's got to be a huge weight lifted off his shoulders, and I would be shocked if he has to go win another one this year, or win a couple other times down in the near future, just because it's kind of that. All right, I have it off my shoulders. I'm not that guy, like you said, that's the best player that has never won one, and he's able to kind of put that in the past.
How cool was it that it was Bryson that was there? And Bryson was for a while the villain and represented everything that was LIV, and now he's kind of I don't know if he's changed his image. It seems like the crowd really loved Bryson, and he hits the ball a ton. He plays a different game. He's a different cat. JJ, I know you've wavered on Bryson. Are you back on the Bryson bandwagon?
Well, I like watching Bryson DeChambeau play golf when he's on, and this is something I did want to ask you too, Ben. When you have a player that's so unique like DeChambeau, and you're out there trying to teach people to play the game of golf, and we all have so many different ways we swing a golf club. How do you take in that information to help someone when there's so many different ways we swing golf clubs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like every sport. There's the right way kind of generally to do something, but everyone has their own. If you look on tour, I mean, everybody's got their own little thing. And I think with Bryson, like you said, he was kind of the villain there for a little while and just kind of maybe outspoken a little different, but he brings that energy, and especially with the crowd there, he's showing his emotion on the sleeve, which a lot of these guys, stay so kind of calm and collected, where, he's fist pumping, he's jumping up and down, he's having a good time, kind of how we would be doing if we were out there with our friends. If I, chipped in for eagle, I'm not going to be walking up just tipping my cap. I'm going to be jumping up and down, having a good time. So I think he kind of, people can relate to that. And I think, with him and all the guys from LIV, as much stuff as there is back and forth with that, but, they are, some of the best players in the world. And when they get all together in the majors and stuff, it definitely brings out kind of a different feeling and brings back some of that feeling that maybe we had, 3 or 4 years ago where, there's 10, 20 guys that are going to be competing when they get together.
I chip in, I just kind of walk up and pull it out because it's usually for double bogey. So
you just do it so often, right? You're just used to it.
Yeah, well, it's usually for double. So it's not that big of a deal. Ben's joined us. He's the head golf pro out at San Diego Golf Club. The Scheffler deal, it was just an unbelievable story. It made sense to me that it was going to be on Saturday, the day after, where he went home and slept on it a little bit, and just everything hit. Probably didn't get a good night's sleep. He shot over par. He was 1 over yesterday. His second over par round, I think, this year, if I'm not mistaken. What did you make of that whole thing? Because it was just astonishing, to see a golfer get arrested, and now we're seeing the video or lack thereof. And it was that dude, like the most unassuming dude, by every report, by everybody. I don't know the dude, but like the most stellar, clean cut, non-offensive. He's the last guy that would do that kind of stuff guy. When you watch that whole thing play out, you got to sit there in shock, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think I was like everybody else, Friday morning kind of waking up like, that was the last guy that you would expect, to hear that he got arrested, especially during a major week. And, obviously you see the video and see some stuff, and you kind of hear more and more that's kind of coming out. And, obviously it seems like it was a, more of a misunderstanding. And obviously there was a horrible event, tragic thing that happened there that morning and caused a little bit of chaos. And unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding. But I think for him, obviously that Friday, how much adrenaline he's got going on and kind of everything that's happened, it's a little easy maybe to kind of stay in the moment. But like you said, Saturday, with Caddy not being there and kind of having a 24 hours kind of to remove from the situation, it wasn't surprising at all. Just kind of see him, falter a little bit, and could see it maybe affect him here for the next couple of weeks. Because if he is, like I said, anybody, if they, with that happening, getting arrested and having to kind of deal with everything that has happened in the last, 5 or 6 days, it's going to take a toll on you mentally and physically. So, it's a bummer, and hopefully he can shake it off, and we can kind of put it in the past and put it behind him, and he can, continue to dominate like he was, the whole first half of the year.
Yeah. All right, lastly, before we get to the tip, Tiger does make the cut. Anytime Tiger's there, he's going to be a story. What do you make of it? Because I just don't know how a dude period, any dude, period, can just play once a month and go out and compete with guys in their prime who are the best in the world, let alone a 48-year-old man, granted the best I've ever seen, who's a reconstructed human, go out and do it. I just don't know how it's sustainable for him to be competitive.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, I think the biggest thing there is the reps, and I think he's touched on that when he's talked in media. And, unfortunately, I think he's going to become, because of who he is and because of what he's done, it's hard to ever say that, 0% chance that he's going to win. But, he is. The odds are stacked up against him as high as they've ever been. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be kind of situational depending on how his body's feeling that week and the course that he's playing at. Conditions have to be quite right. And I think a course like that where guys it's a birdie fest and guys are taking advantage of their length and, it's wet and soft. Right now at his age and his career, 20 years ago, that would have been, his track, he would have torn it up. But nowadays, I think he needs something a little firmer, a little faster, par is a good score and something closer to the single-digit winner for him to really, truly compete. So, obviously we love having him there, and he's done a ton for the sport of golf, and I think he'll still get the recognition that he deserves, but it is going to be tough, with his schedule and what his body is capable of to truly probably compete at the any kind of level that he's used to, for sure.
Yeah. All right. He is Ben Gasparich, the head golf pro out at San Diego Golf Club, and make us better, please. You got a golf tip for us?
I do. I think it's a little putting tip. I know that we spend half our shots on the putting green, so I think that's a spot that a lot of amateurs maybe miss on, and it's I call it the gate drill. It's kind of people think that they're aiming correctly, and a lot of time they're not. And so it's grabbing 4 tees. You're putting 2 tees kind of on the outside of your putter head, so that you're kind of creating a gate that your putter can go through, and then about 3 inches in front of that, making a gate for where the ball is going through. So kind of start on you're making sure that the ball is starting on the line that you're trying to start it on. Because if you can't start it on line, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to go in the hole. So going from about 5 feet out, putting the tees down and hitting about 5-6 balls in a row, really focusing on the putter head going through the gate, and then the ball going through the gate about 3 inches in front, and really working on that start line, because it's a lot easier to make putts if you're starting them on line.
Well, it gets your stroke on line too, right? I mean, if you're not,
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people get real handsy with the putt, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, as far as your putting goes, your hands don't move. It should be just your shoulders, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's a pendulum kind of motion. I tell a lot of people it's almost like, kind of gravity's taking over. It all comes from your shoulders and like your pecs, and your wrist should be locked in. Almost your hand should just be kind of part of the grip. So it helps with kind of getting that on line as well as the ball, and hopefully you make a couple more putts and get those scores down a little bit.
That's where you save those strokes. All right, what's going on at your beautiful golf club at San Diego?
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling now. School getting out here soon, Memorial Day weekend. So we have, one of the best patios in the city, I believe, and a great new drink menu out on the patio with some great food. So, come on by whether you're playing golf or not out to the restaurant. And then all of our junior stuff starting back up. We have our junior Cub class on Sundays starting up this Sunday here. We had first one last week and another one this week that's going up fast. Those are sign-ups will be in the golf shop on Wednesdays for those. Sunday mornings at 9 and 10:30. So a lot of great things coming on at San Diego, and you got to come out and check us out for sure.
You got JJ's kid in your Cub class?
Oh, we did.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it. It's what you guys have done for my son. He was 4 years old last year doing it. He talked about it all winter. He wanted to go back. So what you guys have done for the kids to keep them excited, it's phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah, we love doing it. It's an excuse to get us out of the office and get out there on the course, and we love doing it, all the stuff with the kids and teaching out there. It's one of my passions for sure.
All right. It's all on sandiegolf.com. You get the best tee times. You get the best green fees. It's all right there. Make your tee times, sandiegolf.com. Ben, appreciate you always. Have a great long weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks. You guys too. Have a good one.
All right. Be well. Ben Gasparich, the head golf pro out at San Diego. That's a cool drill, actually, and I've done that gate drill. It gets your putter on line, because if you go off, you're going to hit the tees. You put the tees just outside your putter head, so it's got to swing through that gate. It gets your stroke going the right way, because you start wobbling that thing, and why did I hit it left? Why did I push it? Right?
And you combine that with the getting it rolling correctly,
yes,
right, where you're hitting it.
Yes.
So it's not bouncing.
Then you got to read the greens.
And then you got to read the greens.
Yeah, then you got to know, all right, everything goes to the river. And all right, well, yeah, then there's all that. All right, we'll kick it with Kenny coming up at 9 o'clock. Kenny Thomas, a former Lobo great, will be with us. Got a bunch of stuff from you next on the NCAA stuff. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Kenny's here coming up at 9 o'clock. You're in on a bunch of stuff. Lobo Hobo says, couldn't disagree with Frank Moore. Frank was a caller, not Frank Moore like M-O-O-R-E, but Frank. I couldn't disagree with Frank Moore, he says. Frank was a caller who came in and said with the NCAA settlement that the non-Power 5 schools are going to get some more money. I just don't see it that way. I don't see that anywhere. He says, I've never seen anything saying Lobo Athletics is going to get a big check from this and it's going to be a windfall. It's just the opposite. The university, i.e. State of New Mexico taxpayers are on the hook. Yeah, the university is going to be on the hook. For just like every other athletic department is going to be on the hook. Gene says the problem with Lobo baseball, whether the name of the coach is Rich Talk-A-Lot or Rod Brown, is they have never been able to field a consistent defense, Jeff. Not being able to guard Costa again yesterday. They lost 8-5. First round of the Mountain West Conference tournament. They lost to San Jose State yesterday. They will play Fresno State. So both Lobo golf, men's golf, and Lobo baseball are in San Diego County. Maybe Ralph will go see them after the surf report is in. Lobo golf is teed off. They're on the course of the NCAA championship at La Costa, and then baseball will play down in San Diego State Tony Gwynn Stadium. That'll be this afternoon in an elimination game for them. On the text machine, Ralph is in on the NCAA thing. He said the 5 autonomy conferences and the NCAA agreeing to a settlement terms is an important step in the continuing reform of college sports that will provide benefits to student athletes and provide clarity in college athletics across all divisions for years to come, said NCAA President Charlie Baker. And the Power 5 conference commissioners said in a joint statement on Thursday, he's like, really? Across all divisions? Only the Power 5 schools are going to be able to pay the $20 million they are allowed to now. San Diego State and New Mexico have to find a way into the party. Essentially, this cooks any school that's not part of the Power 5, and that's now Power 4. Cinderella stories are done. It preserves the NCAA tournament because it preserves the NCAA, ties those schools to the NCAA for the next decade. JJ, so now it doesn't mean they can't expand the NCAA tournament, but it does tie the power conferences to the NCAA for the next at least 10 years. So you'll have a tournament for another decade. Stigler was in here and said, it ends the non-power conferences. It doesn't end them, but it may end them playing pretending they're playing at the same level that the power conferences are. I'm going to tell you that the Big Ten and SEC are playing at a different level than the Big 12 and the ACC. Don't you think?
Yes. They're just not trying to pretend like they want to play the same game anymore.
I mean, there's going to be something to that. How are you going to play? Look, if they're distributing money, you got a student athlete. Even when the JT Toppin thing is going to happen over and over. This is what I told you 5 years ago was going to happen. You get a good player, and they're going to take him. You're going to be a minor league system in some respect for the power conferences. You get a good player, you find your diamond in the rough. You can get him for a year, and he's gone because he's going to go make NIL money. It happened to Bill, right? The running back. How many places did he go get money from? Washington, then Arizona, then Mississippi, right? Not where he is now. You lost defensive back. It's just, I mean, I'm not looking to say. It's kind of the truth, right? I'm not looking to.
You just got to go take someone else's best players that are below you,
or you got to take someone's players above you, power conference, who wasn't playing and wasn't happy, wants to go play, and is willing to take, I don't know, maybe a little less money in NIL to go play. Right? I mean, look at all the transfers that come to the Mountain West from power conference schools. It happens all the time. You're just going to have to adjust. Literally, it's the way it is. All right, we'll talk NBA, the playoffs, and I get through some of this stuff with Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great. I think we need to hoe with Kenny this week because next Friday we're going to hoe during Kenny as well. What do you think? I mean, Kenny needs to hoe at some point, doesn't he? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one's hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her! Whoa, what a play!
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run.
By Capital Ford on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
His eyes get all big. He hears his name in the open. Kicking it with Kenny Thomas.
Everybody that sees me and knows my face, my eyes are already big.
Yeah, but they got a little big. The opening drive, Jeff Sabieta, J.J. Buck, and the Lobo legend, the former Lobo great 11-year NBA veteran, second leading scorer in the history of the program, leading rebounder in the history of the program, an entrepreneur at large. What's up, Kenny Thomas?
How you doing, man?
I made all that up.
See, and then my eyes probably got big because the way you announced me. Come on, man. It's refreshing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now on the Sports Animal, he is a legend. What's up?
And blessed.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're my guy, man.
How was breakfast at Barrelas this morning?
Hey, every Friday if I'm in town.
Big dogs were there, huh?
Oh, yeah. The great Sam Breckman came out this morning, spoke to us, spoke very highly of you. I've seen him a few times. Hopefully I get a chance to get to know him and maybe there's something there to where I can help him out. And I don't know, man. I'm always trying to figure out some kind of synergy somewhere.
Yeah, he's got to get through this primary first.
Yeah.
I know that's a big deal for him. No.
Yeah. I think he got like 11 more days he threw out there.
Yeah,
but
June 4th is the day. Sam, don't go back with Sam and that family. Good people. So, all right. I want to get into the NBA, but I got to hit this NCAA thing. So, too bad you graduated before 2016.
Why? Why? What happened now?
Because the settlement, every student athlete who graduated from 2016 and forward is eligible for part of this $2.8 billion in retroactive payment that the NCAA and the
How come they can't go back farther to bless us older guys?
You got to get with the lawyers on that. I don't know how that's where they.
Because at that point in time, we would just kill college athletics. There's no money left.
Come on, man! It's peanuts on the dollar, probably.
Is it
but
really,
hey, no money.
$2.8 billion is $2.8 billion.
Yeah, and then think about it. Are they going to have to pay taxes on that?
Well, the players. I mean, yeah. When you get money, shouldn't they have to? Don't you think? You and I pay taxes.
I know, but
when you made all your NBA money, did you pay taxes on it?
I think so. They come on, man. They took mine out.
When you make all the big money you get for this show, they pay taxes on it?
Of course.
See?
You kidding me?
Like
Taxes for everything.
We pay taxes. So
I think anything over like $200.
Yeah, when the student when they get their money, they're gonna pay taxes. This is crazy what's happening. The Power 4 conferences, and I say Power 4, JJ. I know the Pac-12's in on this
because you're thinking about me, Power Forward.
Well, you are Power Forward who wore number 4. Revenue sharing and the chasm that it's going to create. The big conferences are going to get bigger. It's going to change college athletics. Period. Forever now. It's the amateur model that you knew has been long gone, but now this NIL model that we know now is going to change even more drastically.
I mean, I think it's phenomenal though because these student athletes that are in college, they're bringing in a significant amount of money.
They are.
Obviously, they're bigger. The sport at that university is going to bring it in. More obviously more capital, more money, right? But when it comes down to it, I'm happy for these kids being able to make money. I wish there was opportunities for us to make money because we couldn't even work during the season, and I was getting like $400 a month, and every it was 2 semesters, so every semester I was getting like $1,500 depending on the situation with my parents and their finances and different things like that. But I'm happy for them because obviously the game is evolving and I feel like they are a commodity that needs to be compensated. I just feel like I'm not trying to say that there should be a cap on what they get, but there should be some kind of guidelines, I feel like those guidelines are going to come at some point.
Did you ever feel that the scholarship, the scholastic opportunities, the housing, the food, the athletic training, the gear, the scholarship that is worth anywhere from $25,000 to $125,000 a year. Did you ever feel that was compensation?
Yeah. Are you
Because
kidding
some
me?
of us
Being
got out
able-
of school with loans.
Yeah, being able to see, now that's the other caveat of it, right? The part of it to where being able to go to college and being one of the less than a handful of people in my family to be able to go to college, that was the dream at the time, right?
Right.
Being able to go to college to be able to play a sport for free. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind, man, there's a lot of money's being made, parking, concession,
Understood.
all of that, right? But I just felt like if there would have been opportunities for us to be able to work, I didn't say give it to me, being able to work during the season or being able to get some
Something.
kind of compensation because we're in school, we're playing basketball, right? Those are our two focuses.
And it's your time.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of
And then it's a little consuming, right? Because you have to be mentally prepared after going to school, and then you have to come and you have to practice.
Get
And
yelled at by Bliss all day.
Dave Bliss, man. Oh my God, those thick, heavy hands used to like
They have
fly.
thick,
man.
heavy hands?
Oh yeah, he used to hit you on the inside of the leg, especially if you did something wrong. But I think that was that military mindset because my dad was in the Army. Obviously, Bliss has some military background, and then I felt like that structure helped me. I wouldn't change anything, especially if obviously if I went to the bigger school.
You did
Coming back, who knows what would have happened? I would have been one of like 50 or 100, right, to come back and if I was at that big school. But being able to be here in New Mexico, I just brought this up yesterday. It's like when I come back here, it's very embracing. I do a lot in the community, partnering up with the county, partnering up with other municipalities, and just going out and trying to work the situation and get back to the community. But yeah.
He's Kenny Thomas, former level great with us, kicking it with Kenny on these Sports Animal.
How would you advise, young men and women these days, coming out of high school, you're getting into college, or you're in the college transfer portal, about how to handle what it's like making money, and the fact that it's not
fair,
free money, and it's you're getting compensated, but then how to deal with that, and manage that money for yourself and everything that comes with it.
Well, it's not easy, man. I was 22 years old my first year, and I made $600,000. $600K my first year. That's unheard of money, right? Obviously, you have an agent, or you can have somebody around you that can give you the tools to be able to where maybe you go invest and put some of that away, right? Do you really need that large amount of money? No, you do not. So it's one of those things to where you can have that money in front of you and you can continuously spend it, or you can put it away and set yourself up for the fact that if something happens, you're not able to play anymore, you have something to fall back on, especially in college, which is huge because not everybody's going to go pro in their sport. So you got to have something to fall back on. But the fact of the matter is like some of these kids are getting paid and then they're having great years or whatever. And then there's other colleges obviously coming after them, like JT Toppin is a prime example. And then you leave. But then the expectations are high because you're making a significant amount of money. And then that right there in its own right is a significant amount of pressure, right? And then you have to come in and perform just as an athlete anyway. But I got to say this. I got to give Dent love. The fact that he stayed, I respect him. And he's one of the guys that really could have left.
Where JJ's going with this, I think is really good, though. Because the majority of these young men and women who are going to get however much money they're going to get, most of them is going to be a chunk of money. Who's there? How do you know who to trust? Who is there to help them, A, deal with taxes, B, deal with budgeting, C, deal with all the lures that are out there, right? I mean, you've seen it. At the NBA level, was there something? In college, there wasn't because theoretically you were getting no money.
Yeah.
As Barry Switzer told me recently, NIL means now it's legal. This has been going on for a long time. But who's there to look out for the student athlete? All right, fine. Now you're going to get all this money, and that's imperfect as well.
Maybe the resources that the university has, maybe there's a side division because obviously at UNM, they have an educational component, right? When kids need certain things, they come to them and they help them to be able to maneuver through whatever they need to do to stay on track to graduate. Maybe they implement and add that in. to where it's giving some significant amount of support to allow these kids to have access to these tools, because it comes down to I think the background of how they grew up and being able to have certain tools to know, hey, you have to go through certain steps, which is a process to be able to know, hey, I need to put some of this money away. You never know what's going to happen, but it's all about the people that's surrounding them. And being at that young age, trust me, I know, being at that young age, it's not, you want people around. Yeah, and you want people around you, and you want to bring everybody along with you for the ride. Well, usually if you have those people that grew up with you, obviously you want them along for the ride, right? For sure, to a certain extent. But you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of weight that comes with that and a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And everybody, to a certain extent, has their hand out.
That's John Morant.
You got to say no. Oh, God, that guy. I mean, come on, man.
All right, let's talk some NBA when we get back.
Yeah.
Playoffs are going. We got a phone call for Kenny, too, when we get back. 505-246-0610. We'll do all that when we get back. Hey, for years I've been telling you about IPS. They offer standing guards and 24-hour patrols that protect your home and business, but they protect my home. You might not know IPS also installs home alarms, and they've been doing this for years. They want to remind you, if you don't have an alarm in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, you are much more likely to be a victim of a break-in. The IPS technology team installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal your property. The video will help police in their investigation. The bad guys see the surveillance. It discourages criminal activity. And IPS can set you up with access control. So the only people authorized to get into your business are the only ones who get in. Sign up to have IPS monitor your alarm and your cameras, and when they see something on the alarm or the alarm goes off, they're there within 7 minutes or less. IPS provides the manpower and the technology to protect you and your family and your property. It's a winning combination. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Until you stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma?
Can you just come and get me?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Just search KNML.
This is where you hoe, Kenny Thomas. All right, so
ho.
Like we hoe on a Friday. So
you got your funky bus fare.
You guys are hilarious. You can't win that all the time.
Do that a lot. So that started back 16 years ago. Joe Gonzalez, who really was Joe Gonzalez, started playing this song on Fridays. So every Friday we hoe. And, well, we hoe.
I think this is my second Friday.
Yeah, so we hoe on Friday. And that was a Memorial Day hoe on Friday. So it's a long weekend, so a longer hoe. I mean, how can you start a weekend without a hoe?
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm just...
Man,
remember when I asked him if he hoes on Friday the other day? He's like, wait, what?
What? Yeah, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, North Shore.
Live radio? You kidding me? I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
Hey, Pacers, are they done? 126-110 last night. They get beat. They're down 2-0. They gave away game one. Literally gave away game one. Yeah. Halliburton goes out with a hamstring. Yeah. If he's out, they're done, and they may be done.
Not necessarily, because with Tyrese being out, that, I mean, a hamstring is like a groin, man, to a certain extent. It's unpredictable. Time. It's gonna take time. Obviously, it's around the clock treatment. But this is the NBA. Anything can happen. Boston could come in with their guards down to where there might be a situation to where the Pacers could still win, which is possible. Playing at home, playing with momentum, and all of that happening and going for the Pacers, but. It's probably over in 5 or 6 if Tyrese isn't playing.
Will you give it up to that Aggie, Pascal Siakam? He's pretty damn good.
Who's that?
That Aggie.
Who's that?
New Mexico State. That's the school.
This is south. No. I love you. We're in Albuquerque, not Las Cruces.
So you won't give it up to Pascal Siakam a little bit?
Who?
Pascal Siakam.
I'll give it up to Mario, the AD down there in New Mexico State, who was here when I was at UNM. Who? No, I'm just kidding. No, man, he a beast. He's representing the state. He's representing the state very well. Can't throw a pea in the ocean from the perimeter, but yeah, long, athletic. But
he's an NBA champion, and he played well last night.
Oh, you jerk! He did win.
He did
in Toronto.
Yeah, it ain't my fault.
It's his fault.
I'm just stating facts. He won that with an Aztec.
Man,
it was an Aztec and an Aggie that won that.
See,
thing.
that Aztec was a beast in that series, and then that bounce in the corner, and it went straight up,
Philly?
and then it came down, and then he goes down on his knees.
Only got it because KD got hurt. Chill out.
That's always because someone got hurt. Kenny Thomas is with us on the opening drive. Jeff Sabieta and JJ Buck.
What have you thought about the Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving partnership? We've kind of touched on it all year long, but to see how good these guys work together, it's one that I think so many people just thought, Kyrie is crazy. The dude is just off. He's crazy, but he is focused on basketball this year, and that's a special tandem right now.
Well, when one has 30 and the other one has 33, that's pretty good, right? Because the other guys are role players. And the way that Mark Cuban has probably taken a step back and allowed that GM and the great organization that he has to put the right pieces into play, right? It's kind of like me negotiating my own contract with certain things. I'm not going to do that. It's the right pieces in play to have somebody speak the voice, and then from an owner's perspective, being able to take it and let it be what it does, right? But the way that Dallas has came out, I didn't expect Dallas to do what they did. But if you saw the last game, man, the playoffs and how Luka's going one-on-one, and then he had that little left-hand push-off a little bit. It's the playoffs. They're not going to call those calls. You got to get into guys, and you got to play great defense. But, I mean, did you guys see Kyrie's shoes, man? What are those shoes that he's wearing? You guys know what those are?
Mm-mm.
Because Nike got rid of him, and then he's wearing some brand shoes with some, what are they called? Like sprinkles around them. And they're all flapping all over the place.
Whatever they are, the kids are all going to want them now.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, he scored 33 in them. So
yeah. They're all going. You brought up something that's big, and JJ and I talked about it. I don't even know who the GM is, and I should. But to go out, I mean, the moves to get Washington Gafford, Daniel Jones, Lively in the draft, they put together a roster that I mean, it works. What Jason Kidd's done. And to finally find a place that, JJ, it feels like Kyrie's finally comfortable for the first time in, I don't know, maybe his whole NBA career. I don't even know.
No, that's
comfortable
him growing
in
up.
Cleveland. Is that what that is?
Yes. It's him realizing, I'm pretty good at basketball. Maybe I should just simmer down on the off the court stuff, at least to the public.
See, now that's kind of, I don't know. With this social media and people having more of a voice, and guys need to just play basketball, man. Those are nice. I don't know what those are.
Those are Kyrie's shoes.
Man. Oh, wow.
Called Antakai 1.
Wow. See, another situation, a guy that's blowing up, he's Kyrie Irving. He loses a Nike brand who we would all appreciate being able to get paid and come out with his own shoes.
Tassels on them.
See, tassels. See, that's some Native American type thing to a certain extent, or some country western. Yeah.
Some Dallas, Texas tassels.
He's so gifted. It's insane. Did you guys see him knock down that runner in the last series with his left hand, and it was basically a 3-pointer almost?
Will he be lost when you start? You're 10 years from now, 15 years from now. When we start going over the best players of this generation, will he get lost just because of the kookiness?
No.
So he'll be considered one of the best players. If he wins this year, it'll be two titles for him. Does he have to win another one without LeBron to be considered in that ilk?
Well, I think he's still there. I think that's a great question, because what he's done and how crafty he is with the ball, he deserves to be in that talk and conversation, right? You got when I think of a Kyrie Irving, I think of there's so many other guys that I played against, like a Rasheed Wallace, right? And you got Meta, which is Ron Artest. They're just edgy guys. And I feel like Kyrie Irving's an edgy guy. And there's all different walks in the NBA, man. You have no clue. There's a lot of characters and a lot of personalities, especially when they're the top personality on that team, and then they can be more vocal in certain ways. Come on, you see KD the way he does, but I have mad respect for KD.
All right, here's the deal on the shoes, JJ. They're called Chief Hela, Hela. Colorway of his signature Anta Kai 1 sneaker. So it features a brown hue as its primary color with a honey yellow sole, containing fringe detailing on the back stands as a tribute to his roots. He goes by Chief Hala on social media, and that was his given Lakota name, Little Mountain. But the Standing Rock Sioux tribe had a naming ceremony for him in 2018 and gave him the Lakota name Little Mountain by the Standing Rock Sioux tribe.
See.
He said, I had no idea how inclusive this group is and what it meant to be part of Standing Rock and part of the United Sioux Nation. But I guess now he's part of that nation because they gave him a naming ceremony.
And I think he had like
That's kind of
8 shoes with Nike. Come on, man.
I didn't know any of that. Did you?
Nope.
All right.
We do now because of the shoes.
What about the Wolves and Anthony Edwards coming out saying, man, I'm tired. And people are killing the guy for saying you're tired. Dude, yeah, of course you're tired. Everybody's tired. And they're killing him because he had a bad game and they lose a game. And dude, I still think that dude's it.
Of course that man is it. He's it and some. But the way that he was, I mean, obviously his body language showed that he was tired. You could tell. The man's been going hard. It's an 82-game grind regular season. And now he's playing in the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm. They went 7 against, so they played 11 playoff games in addition.
And he's putting in some major minutes. But did those people that, if they saw on social media that the Timberwolves went in and had a workout after that win to actually get them to this point to start the Western Conference. So that's that extra stuff that's happening. Maybe those guys like Mike Conley and the other role players to a certain extent, this is where I feel like they need to come in and step it up. But Towns and Gobert, man, like I feel like they're playing some great ball. And what's nice, because when it comes to Towns, he's the guy that can put the ball on the floor, even being so big. So when I saw him throw a lob to Gobert, man, I'm like, these two guys can actually dominate and change the whole dynamic to where they can get to the actual finals.
All right, I got to ask this before we get out of here. I'm going back to the other series. You're up 3. There's 10 seconds to go, and you got inbound the ball.
Yeah.
The collapse by the Pacers the other day, put that into perspective. Yeah. Why did they call a timeout when they couldn't inbound the ball? Why 2 dudes in the front court against 3 defenders, or in the back court against 3 defenders? There's so many whys in that thing. Put that collapse into perspective.
Were they really organized? You couldn't tell, right? If they were.
I'll tell. No.
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't tell. So a timeout could have happened. Whoever was throwing the ball in, I can't remember who it was, should have known that they had one.
That's right.
That is a huge component, right? You can't get the ball in, so why force it? But that changed the whole dynamic, because it gave Boston an opportunity, right? And it should have been one of those games to where they should have stole that game.
Was it Neesmith who was inbounding?
Nebhard.
Nebhard. Okay.
Which he probably doesn't have. I know the Pacers have a young team, but there probably shouldn't have been a better person throwing the ball in.
On the sideline, he's allowed to call a timeout. And he's a great coach.
See now, and it should have been to where one of those assistant coaches should have said, "Hey, got timeout. Look at the bench. If you don't have something, right?" But during the emotion and the course of the game, man, come on, you never know what happens.
Is it one of those things where sometimes you take for granted we're gonna inbound the ball?
Yeah.
Like how often, where that ball was on the side of the court, do you have drawn up plays for that? Are there a lot of plays like I know you do on the inbounds underneath the basket, and you have press breakers? But to get the ball, how much time do you actually spend on an inbounds play on that where that ball was? Because I'm going to get it's very little, and my feeling, and JJ, we haven't really talked about this. I almost feel like they just took it for granted. We're going to get the ball in bounds and get fouled.
Well, if you put it like this, when you're practicing to a certain extent, there's different situations that you go through. The last 2-minute drill,
is that one of them?
That's one of them. When I played, that was one of them.
Okay,
and then. You gotta imagine that they're gonna switch, but they didn't even. I mean, they did switch, but Pascal Siakam ended up coming to the ball and just trying to get open off of pure athleticism, right? And it did not happen. Once again, you got called timeout.
All right,
period.
Man. What do you got going? It's a big weekend.
Man, I just found out my golf tournament September 14th. Michael Cooper is committed. Michael Coop is coming. I got Clayton Shields coming. I got Royce Only coming. David Gibson. And I got Dwight Hicks coming, who was a 49er with Ronnie Lott on those championship teams. He's a good friend of mine. Then hopefully I'll probably have Stephen Michael Casada out there. I reached out to him. He's a big supporter of mine. Yeah, and we got to have you out there too.
What about JJ Beth?
I didn't know JJ, you golf?
If you can call it that.
See, but we'll come out and have a
He
good
hits the
time.
ball a long way now.
Yeah.
And every once in a while it'll go straight.
Yeah.
If we get him out there with one of these pros for like 2 lessons, he's an athlete. Yeah, he hits the ball all the time.
Oh, JJ, we got to get out and play, man.
Yeah.
September 14th. It's coming, and it's with the Boys and Girls Club up north in the valley.
That'll be good.
Yes.
And the tournament's at Isleta.
Yes, sir. Isleta Casino.
All right. Have a great long weekend. It's always great to see you.
Appreciate you guys. I got a big tournament this weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
20 gyms.
We have about 20-something gyms, 260 teams right now.
They're all in town.
The end goal is to try and get some of these colleges from outside of New Mexico to be able to come in and recruit the kids to help support them, give them more opportunities.
Which is great. All right. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
He is Kenny Thomas. That was Kicking It with Kenny. JJ and I are back next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I just want you to do some music. A little music during your morning. Leading into a long Memorial Day weekend. It's the opening drive.
Relaxing intro.
a little headspace for you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Good morning and a happy Memorial Day weekend. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails are coming in this morning, Jeff at Sports Animal. What is it? Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. All right. Maurice says, boy, I don't get this, Jeff. I thought scholarships were balanced for Title IX. If Rich Pitino goes off half-cocked and decides to put Shane Duma Sanchez under scholarship because they're now unlimited, doesn't that cause Title IX issues? Look, man, the Title IX thing, and we spent a lot of time today talking about the NCAA settlement and the revenue sharing and how this thing's going to go forward. And I don't think they have half of the.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
If they're going to put X amount of players on a baseball team on scholarship, they're going to do the same thing for the other Olympic sports. Now, where the difference is the money on top of that, which they're saying that's what we don't have to do equally.
What they're saying is it's got to be Title IX means equal opportunity, but not necessarily equal pay, correct?
Yes, that's what they're trying to argue now. They're saying, yeah, we'll give everyone scholarships, so you don't have to have a half scholarship up there, your track and field. Full ride scholarship.
By the way, those cost money.
However, the extra money, that doesn't go to everyone.
Okay. And so do you believe they've got it figured out how they're distributing the shared revenue?
No.
I don't think so either.
Not at all. This just happened.
I hear there's formulas where if you are
it should come down to performance at some point.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be compensated, what do a lot of athletes have in their contracts? You have your base, and then you have bonuses, right?
Yeah.
For achieving certain things.
Yeah. And Terry, I apologize. I just saw this. He says, is it all athletes from 2016 or just football and basketball players that get a share of the settlement? The way I understand it, it's all athletes.
Yep.
All athletes.
And go get your
share. Now I don't believe that
get your check in the mail for $75. But
yeah. Now I don't believe the golfer is going to get the same as the quarterback. There's going to be a formula. He says, and I missed this, and I didn't get to ask Kenny. Does Kenny know about any college athletes being run off due to injury? Reference to Penn State doctor story. That was a big story that came up. So I don't know, but it obviously it happens. All right, 505-246-0610. We've been talking this morning a lot about that. We've been talking the NCAA settlement. We'll get hopefully Eddie Nunez in next week what it means to the non-power conference.
How's that going to affect the golf trips?
Well, seriously. No, honestly.
Book the NCAA tournament?
And look, I have no problem that the athletic director is in San Diego today.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
yes.
No, I know you don't either.
Are you going to be able to compete at that level?
Well, how many of those trips will it be on? His NCAA, or his golf team, his men's golf team is at the NCAA championships. And that is at La Costa in San Diego going on today. And then he's got his baseball team down the road at San Diego State in an elimination game. He'll be able to go to both of them. I think that's great. But how many more will they be in? Quickly on the leaderboard, and New Mexico is out, and not a good start. There's 10, 11, 12. There's 12 teams on the course, and they're tied for last right now, 3 over par. They're playing holes 4 through 7. Ohio State and Notre Dame are your leaders really, really early at -2. Stanford at -1. So we'll see, but not a good start for New Mexico as they get started at La Costa. But they're there again, and I think at some point you're tired of just being there, right? Or are you? If you're New Mexico and you get to an NCAA championship, I think you got to at some point. All right, let's get there and make a difference. Let's get there and make some noise. Last night, Celtics beat the Pacers 126-110. The hockey was good last night. It was in double overtime. Oilers over the Stars, first game Western Conference Finals. 3-2 was the final there. This weekend, New Mexico United are back in action. They'll be at the ball pitch. They play, I believe, San Antonio. And Max Crosby got a big contract extension with the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's kind of where we've been today and you're in. When we come back, I want to wrap it up. Everything that you need to know as you go into your long holiday weekend. And Peyton Manning says, I want this record to be broken. It's mine, but I want it to be broken. It's next, and it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This is Maggie Gray with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa Silent Guard Brake.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to
When your record gets broken, don't you think?
Yes, I think it is definitely one of those things that it's nice to say none of these dudes want their records broken, man. Unless
it's this.
It's this.
So Peyton Manning did a recent interview. He was up in Denver somewhere. And he said that he hopes his record gets broken by one of these incoming rookie quarterbacks. Quote from Peyton, I played as a rookie. It was not a fun year. If any one of those rookies wanted to break my interception record, I'd be for it. I'd like to get that one off my resume. End quote. Peyton Manning holds the rookie record for interceptions thrown. 28. It's the worst mark by a rookie in NFL history. And JJ, I guess Jameis threw for 30 interceptions in 2019, but he was Jameis Winston. A rookie then. That's a lot of interceptions. Yep, go break my record, please. Well, I kind of like that he's talking about it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And with the amount of rookie quarterbacks we've seen play over the years, it feels like someone would come close, but they haven't. You look at last year in 16 games, and as bad as the Panthers were, Bryce Young only threw 10 interceptions. And I'm trying going down to other young players like Aiden O'Connell threw 7 in 11 games.
That's
the most interceptions thrown just in the NFL last season was 21 by Sam Howell.
28, and that was a lot, dude. 28's a bunch.
If Peyton Manning had that season, now, would he get the opportunity to become Peyton Manning?
It would depend on which franchise he was with. I would say yes. So what if Caleb Williams throws 28 interceptions this year? Are you going to give up on him? No.
We'll start talking about how it's the make or break season in year 2.
Okay. But so he would have got the chance, right? If Jaden Daniels throws 28 interceptions this year, he will still get the chance, right? If you're that Brock Purdy wouldn't get that chance. But Peyton Manning would have, because he was the number 1 overall pick. If you were Dak Prescott in the 3rd or 4th round, you wouldn't get that chance. Yeah, I think when they invest that much in you, they're going to give you that.
And that was a wild turnaround for that team. They were 3-13 his rookie season.
And then the next year?
Where he throws 28 interceptions. In the next season, they go 13-3.
That's as wild as it gets. And he probably threw, 12?
He threw 15 interceptions.
But again, he's throwing the ball all day, and other guys aren't. But yeah, I think he would have gotten that chance as the number 1 pick, whereas Trey Lance wouldn't have, or maybe even Russell Wilson wouldn't have. But I've invested that much in this. And I'm sure, how many touchdowns did he throw the year he threw 28?
26.
All right. I mean, your ratio isn't great, but there was promise there. And there's going to be 5 or 7 of those that were tipped balls and weren't his fault, right? It's a lot. I get it. I'm not making excuses, but yeah, he would have absolutely gotten that chance. Is Trey Lance ever going to get another chance? Trey Lance is your Cowboys quarterback competing for the backup. He played in only 8 games, 4 starts. San Francisco traded up to get him in 2021. So how's he doing? He's in camp. Says his confidence is much higher than it was when he got to the NFL. Kind of didn't know what to expect, he said. I think that's probably most rookies, if not all of them, at one point or another throughout that first year. I feel great about where I'm at, continuing to get better, continuing to learn, and continuing to be a better quarterback. He's scheduled for free agency after this year. A, does he make the club, and B, is he the backup? Does he beat Cooper Rush? How good is Cooper Rush, right?
Well, people were ready to hand Cooper Rush a starting job.
I know, because he won 3 of the 4 starts when Dak was out of field.
Wasn't he undefeated?
I think he lost that. He was for a minute.
One, yeah.
Yeah, because I was calling him Uncle Time because he won 3 in a row or maybe 4 in a row. He lost the last one. He played the Eagles. But yeah, he won
that's
3
going to
or 4 in a
be
row.
a challenge for him to beat an established backup like Cooper Rush, but that's his only thing right now because no team is going to give him a chance to start. So really for Trey Lance, you show that you're a good guy in the quarterback room, that you flash skill, and then you just hope you get an opportunity to be a backup somewhere else. And Trey Lance, he has to wait for someone to get hurt.
That's right.
That's who he is now.
100%.
No one's going to give him a chance to come in and win a job. They're going to say, oh, you can come in and be our backup quarterback.
Maybe. And there's a million guys. Like every year there's another 4 guys who are in that mode, right? Former starters.
Yeah, and that you just had a whole bunch of guys dumped into that conversation and played more football than Trey Lance. When you look at a Mac Jones,
Sam Howell,
Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, like all these guys that go into the mixer, and he hasn't even had the opportunity of extended playing time.
Gardner Minshew is in that role. Sam Howell is in that role. Drew Lock's probably in that role. Who's Seattle's? That's Sam Howell. Marcus Mariota's still in that role. Jameis Winston's still in that role. There's dudes everywhere. Carson Wentz is in that role. They're everywhere, man. And any first round quarterback that loses his job, that doesn't become a starter, and there's 3 to 6 a year, they go into that pool of, all right, well, I got a good backup. He was a first round pick. I got Marcus Mariota as my back. I got Jameis Winston. I got, right? They're all in that role. And everybody's got one now, it seems. Hell, Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields are in that role, right? It's a hard job, man. It's getting harder to keep a job. Daniel Jones may be in that role. He said he's not looking over his shoulder. He said that he is going to be ready in week 1 against the Vikings. He, quote, I don't have any doubt about it. Feels good, felt good to be out there today, just getting back in the swing of things, playing football against the defense. Coming back from his injury, he did not have his knee, or he said he's ready to. No, he didn't have a knee brace on, right? Went without it. Daniel Jones, to me, is the wild card in the whole NFC. In the entire NFC, I told you I like Arizona. We think we know what everybody else is. If Daniel Jones looks like Daniel Jones at the end of the season 2 years ago in the playoffs, the Giants might be okay. Now, I don't think he's got great weapons. They got to replace so much there. But to me, he and they are the wild card in the NFC.
Could they do enough to be in the mix with that 7th wild card?
Yes. Spot? Yeah, depending on their quarterback.
You got to feel that there's going to be 2 teams in the NFC South that compete for that division, 9-10 wins. Other one be there for the wild card. Seattle or Arizona.
You don't like the Rams?
Yes, I'll put the Rams in there.
Okay. I mean, they were a playoff team last year.
I'm more confident in them not necessarily being at the 7th spot.
Okay.
For a wild card. Because the Giants are still behind the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Washington's interesting, dude. Washington's got parts. If they get quarterback play, they can be good.
They have better offensive pieces
than the Giants.
100%.
Yep. I think both those 2 teams, it depends on quarterback play. This is, who that team was last year that we talked about, and they went out and got a quarterback. I remember having this conversation with you about Atlanta last year. If they get quarterback play, they're going to be good. If they don't, they're not. And they did. So they won. To me, those two teams are Washington and the Giants this year. I think Atlanta's going to get good quarterback play. Went and signed Kirk Cousins. And then I look at Arizona, and I think that they're going to get good quarterback play because I think Kyler Murray's going to be ready from the beginning. And I like what they went out and got him a nice new toy. I think they got a good running game. I think their defense got better. They were in every game last year. Again, Arizona to me is that surprise team in the NFC. I don't know who I think it is in the AFC because everybody's supposed to be good in the AFC. Who's not supposed to be good in the AFC besides New England?
Not supposed to be good?
Yeah, everybody's supposed to be pretty good, right? Everybody.
Denver?
All right, fair enough. Denver. Because they got quarterback orphans.
The Raiders, if you're looking for a surprise team, would be the Raiders.
Yep. And again, what does it depend on? Quarterback
the
play.
Most important thing in football.
Yeah. Quarterback play. Is Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew going to be any good? Thanks to Kenny Thomas. He was with us today. Ben Gasprich, the head golf pro in Sandia, he was also here. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes in at 4 o'clock. Then you get Isotopes Baseball. They are in Salt Lake City to play the Bees. We are off on Monday. Hopefully you are as well to enjoy Memorial Day. Back on Tuesday. Adrian, great week. Appreciate you. Big weekend for you?
Huge weekend.
Yes, it is. I was 4 for 4 throwing them in the garbage with left-hand backhand. That means it's going to be a great weekend. Be good to each other, boys and girls. Have a great, safe weekend. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.